Hi everyone, this is daveac and welcome to my vblog 151 for Friday the 10th of June 2011. Yes, this is daveac and the new address of course is now blip.tv/daveac. Got it right. Yes, and of course we will be talking about a number of things. Today's title is New Who, New Tech and a New World Wine. Yes, wine at the end. And may I say a thank you for those people. As I say, this is 151. Thank you for all the people who have watched either occasionally or regularly these vlogs I do. I've had about almost 33,000 downloads now, so very pleased with that. And thank you for watching and any feedback that you send. And you can send that, of course, to, well, it's easy to have. It's cooperda@tiscali.co.uk. Right, let's get on with this week's episode. Well, we start as always with Doctor Who and podcasting news. The Sunday that's just gone, Podshock of course did a live show because the mid-season cliffhanger episode of Doctor Who had just aired the day before, at least here in the UK anyway. Of course it was delayed, or has been delayed a week in the States, and that will be showing tomorrow. Anyway, that episode has now gone up on the feeds. You can either check it out at podshock.net or indeed download it from iTunes, and that is Podshock episode 249. And it was a really great one because we had not only James back, but we also had Ken back live on the show. So that was really great. I still helped out a bit because both guys couldn't stay for the whole of the show, but I hope you will give that a listen. Now, the Cult Collective, of course, preceded that show. We go out at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We go out on Torch ID 54821, and we indeed did our Doctor Who A Good Man Goes to War review, which, of course, like the Podshot one, is full of spoilers. Only listen to it if you've seen that episode. And also, midweek, we put up our commentary. That's with Ian, Mike and myself, and thank you Ian for doing the editing this week. Commentary, A Good Man Goes to War, also up on the feeds. Now, since we've now reached the mid-season break in Doctor Who, what we've decided to do with the Cult Collective this coming Sunday, that of course will be the 12th of June, is to have one more Doctor Who episode. And because there are a great many new watchers of Doctor Who since it's been having this big burst into the American market on BBC America, and really, apart from this last week or two being released very similar times, we thought we'd do an episode called Getting into Classic Who. So the members of the collective are going to be talking about Classic Who and making perhaps recommendations of where they think people who have not seen any of the older Doctors, anything before Christopher Eccleston, or maybe even not before David Tennant, or maybe even not before Matt Smith, how they would get into Classic Who, and maybe even some of the early New Who, which of course returned to our screens in 2005. Can't believe it's that long ago. Anyway, that will be on Torch ID 54821, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Please consider joining us. And if you're on Facebook, go to our Cultum Collective Facebook page, because just recently I've put up links to two of Logan, that's Bruce Pringlemeyer's short videos telling you how to get on to TalkShoe and to call into the shows, and you then can be on the show live as well. Hope you'll take the effort to do that. We'd love to have you on. We've been having rooms with 20, 25, 30 people in for recent episodes, but with room for many, many more. 250 can be live on TalkShoe at one time. So please go to, if you're on Facebook, the Cultum Collective fan page, and watch those two little videos and try and join us. Okay, but that's not all the Doctor Who news. Yes, first of all, it's now been announced that the second 6 episodes and the Christmas special will actually, in fact, still be part of Series 6 of Doctor Who. So it's not Series 6 and Series 7, it's Series 6 in two halves. How do I know that? Well, it's Series 7, another 14 episodes have been recommissioned for next year. And Matt Smith is most definitely in those plans. Whether he'll stay for the whole run or not, I don't know. But Matt Smith will be featuring in another 14 episodes in 2012. Hopefully all the way, I think, to the anniversary, the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. But who knows, that might be the biggest cliffhanger yet. In related news, of course, it has been announced that the Sarah Jane Adventures, the final 3 stories, the final 6 episodes before the sad death of Elizabeth Sladen that had been filmed, will get an airing, and that will be in October of this year. So look out for Sarah Jane Adventures. And not on Doctor Who or Sarah Jane, not really on science fiction, but another fan show that I love will be starting in a few days. So I want to just mention that now. And that is the detective series Luther. That's coming back for a second series, and that starts on Tuesday the 14th of June here in the UK on BBC. So look out for that. Has the marvellous Ruth Wilson as well as Idris Elba. I can't see his name now after all that build up, but please, Luther, check it out. And one other thing I'll just say, excuse me, about with the commentaries that we've been doing and Doctor Who reaching the mid-season finish, that means that Ian, Mike and myself can move on to something else for commentaries, and in the next following 3 weeks we're hoping to do commentaries on the first 3 Sherlock stories. Those are the ones with Mark Gatiss and of course Stephen Moffat. They co-wrote it. We will be doing commentaries on those. Wow, talked a long time on that. 7 minutes, David. Get on. Right, well, I said New Who, done that. New Tech. Well, the big E3 electronics exhibition has just finished. It was on this last weekend, wasn't it? It was from the 7th to the 9th of June. And all the big games machine manufacturers, Microsoft with their Xbox 360, Sony with their PlayStation 3, and Nintendo with their Wii, had big presentations. And before I just mention a little bit more about that, let me just give you a podcast to listen to. And that is Mike who helps us out on the commentaries. He has 2 shows, but one of his other shows is the Rat Project Live. And for the first 2 presentations, he did live podcasts simultaneous to those presentations. And that is also on TalkShoe. And the TalkShoe ID is 21129. Unfortunately, with his bandwidth connections, he couldn't do it for the 3rd Nintendo one. But the first 2, and I came along for part of those to talk along with him as what we were seeing. And PlayStation 3, well, actual fact, the easiest place for you to go to get a wrap-up of those events is the Engadget site. That's www.engadget, that's engadget.com, and look for the E3 2011 wrap-up with the Wii U, the PS Vita, and also lots of other stuff. And I did a couple of little video clips of that, and I'm going to show you a little video clip of part of the Nintendo presentation talking about their new Wii U. However, since that presentation, there's been a slight bit of controversy because it looked as the way that they were talking about it at the presentation, the footage they were showing of games on this new machine were actually on the machine, but apparently it has been shown to be that the clips they were using were actually being shown on different consoles. and they were to give a representation of how this Wii U graphics will look, but we are assured it will be in 1080p at 50 frames a second, so it should be a very capable machine, and it's got this very novel new controller which has its own screen on it. So let's move the camera. Yes, I'm going to risk moving the camera and show you this little clip. So here we go, and I paused it at a point in this, and let's see how this plays. Hope the volume's okay.
Hey, it's time to watch some baseball. Okay. And a runner on second. Hernandez is on the mound, and here comes the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
And there's the new controller. They switched the picture from the TV back to the controller while the TV's in use. Examples of course and play games on the controller. Just leave it a second or two more. This is the one I like for golf. And I'll have to pause it for a second. And we'll stop it there. Okay, and it really was a marvellous presentation. Got a big round of applause. But as I say, some of the more 3D intensive, not 3D, the more graphic intensive games that were shown later were simulated. They weren't actually shown on the machine, because the big news, at least for me, was that the EA Sports were coming to the Nintendo machine. And that looked rather good indeed. So there was an awful lot from E3. Go to Engadget.com to read more about it. I'm just going to refer to my little notes before we go to the wine. Yes, the new PlayStation N is now called the Vita. And what else should I mention? Oh yes, if you're using Firefox Beta 5, there's been a big update, another 17 megabyte download security update for that today. Oh, and one thing I should have mentioned in the Doctor Who bit that Tim told me about is there's a place in New Zealand, a wine producer, and their wines, Gallifrey wines. I thought that was really great, and I had a look at that place. It's down in southwestern Australia. If you put, it's spelt Gallifrey, Gallafrey, not the same as the Gallifreyan embassy. Okay, I think because of time, we'll go to the wine, and it is, as I said at the beginning, a New World wine. So there it is, Whitlam River, Cabernet Sauvignon, from the Coonawarra region, 2009, obviously wine of Australia. And we're going to try and focus that in. Oh, brilliant. Look at that. Freeze frame, 13.5%. And it's been poured out. And it's a lovely dark, really dark, luscious colour. And I've had quite a nice bouquet coming off today. Yes, I'm getting that. I'm back to the sort of farmyard, not so much farmyard, but sort of earthy tracks and a dark fruitiness to it. And I'm getting a little bit of floral off it. supposed to be violets. I'm not really that sure I can smell violets, but there is a sort of slight floral hints coming through. Let's have a taste. And that is very, very pleasant indeed. It's got a lot. It's got a good long finish in that. It's what I would call a nice full-bodied, full mouth-feel sort of wine. It's got legs. It's showing quite nice legs on the wine. I don't know if you can see those on the camera, but that just gives a slight sign of the viscosity of it, or whatever they call it. You find that most evident in these Italian ripasso wines, where they're certainly thick and velvety. Is there anything else it said on the label? Actually, I think that's rather nice. On the nose, this wine displays typical aromas of blackcurrant fruit, floral violet notes. That's what I was missing. On the palate, vibrant flavours with a soft, round mouthfeel and paired with a long, lingering finish. A medium-bodied classic wine for meat dishes such as lamb are ideal with mature cheese. Well, isn't that funny? The last couple of wines that I've drunk that I haven't particularly liked, when I've looked on the back of the label, they've not said anything about how the wine should taste. They've just said rolling hills and beautiful countryside and long established. At least this says what the wine is likely to be like. And for the most part, that is exactly what I'm getting. I'm not really identifying that violet, but I am getting some floral notes, definitely. But the actual dark fruit and that full mouthfeel are definitely coming through. It was a wine I bought from Asda, by the way. That's Walmart in the States, and I think I paid £4.50 for it. So that's only a $6 wine. And for that, well, I think that's pretty much a bargain. I think that's one to recommend. And with that, 17.5 minutes, I'll have to end the show. Catch you next week, everybody. Thanks for watching.